so much for coming on the programme. Tell us a bit more about this research.
Well, corals live in a very close association with microalgae, and we were able to isolate the algae from the coral and evolve them outside the coral in the lab to adapt to higher temperatures. We then reintroduced the algae back into the coral and were able to show that the coral then had an increased tolerance to high temperature.
And are you confident that this could be successful and be scaled up?
It's still early days. I mean, this was a laboratory experiment, and we did it with one algal strain and one coral species, so it's a little bit early to say that. But I mean, in theory, we can upscale the culture of these lab-evolved algae. And another positive is that we know that this particular algal species is able to form an association with a wider range of coral species. So there is the potential for upscaling, but there's a few steps of additional research that we need to do before we can go to that level.
And Madeleine, remind us and remind our viewers, if you could, about the significance of this reef and what the consequences would be should it disappear. We hope not.
If the reef disappears, the consequences would be quite dire and great for many countries. I mean, coral reefs contribute to the economies of many countries across the world. I mean, they all also are home to a large proportion of marine life. More than 25% of all marine species live on coral reefs. They also have very big cultural values, and they're important for tourism, for coastal protections, and you name it. So if we lost coral reefs, it would have huge negative effects on many aspects of life.
And tell us a bit more about what exactly is being done practically now to conserve the reef. I mean, conventional management of coral reefs has been ongoing for a long time, again, across the world, including in Australia. So that includes management of water quality and management of development on the reef, oil drilling and things like that. But now there's a greater movement towards exploring the restoration of coral reefs, and particularly in Australia, that hasn't happened for very long and not on a large scale. But there's now an investment of our government and also of other funders into developing new tools to restore coral reefs. Thank you so much. Madeleine van Oppen from the University of Melbourne. We really appreciate your time on this programme.